An Activist Introduction. This book is about the activist social justice sector, which means it contains many websites on activist organizations but not specifically non-government organizations/NGOs, which is a different category that covers activist organizations but is much bigger. I created a different book for the non-profit sector. I cover the following topics: helping people, animals, and/or the planet, changing the world, activism, activist jobs, lists of activist organizations and websites, how to protest effectively for any cause, the peace/anti-war movement, ideas for a better world, change the structure of government to a true democracy through online voting by issue. Activism is supposed to be about helping people live better lives, as with helping the most desperate people who might be poor, homeless, disabled, sick and unemployed. This is supposed to be a serious, urgent, and desperate matter, but there is as much greed and fraud in the activism field as anywhere. Some people use it as a cover to raise money, then keep it for themselves while pretending to be a noble humanitarian organization. It's a field for vain people who want to be admired. Some people say some activists have a god complex. They have a cause that they think is so big that they're here to save the world. Some people get into the activism fields to make money. Some people do it for friendship and romance, especially older people, because once you hit over 30, there aren't many places for people to go to socialize, so charitable, non-profit, and activist organizations are a good place to meet people. A real activist has fire in their soul with an urgent sense of action. I saw a documentary about the money raised for Haiti after an earthquake. There was a big pledge drive on American TV. Many Haitian locals say they got almost no help. I have seen activist movements come and go. They can do positive things to improve the world, but money, power, and greed rule the world. Fat cats always get the last word. That's the way the world has run since biblical times. There are a few rich people in power. If you threaten their wealth, they will get you somehow. That's the way it works. Case in point, the Occupy movement after the 2008 banking and real estate meltdowns. A bunch of activists rose up, had a run for a few months, then disappeared. Another weapon the elitists have is time or patience. When the big-shot bankers wanted the banking reform bill in 2008, public outcry was huge. It did not pass the first time in Congress. They waited 3 months for things to cool down, claimed to have made some changes. It passed and there was no big outcry because the people are beaten down. They always lose. The elitists can wait anyone out. They're smart enough to know they can fight another day. The natives get restless in the summer. Wait until the cold of winter. Nobody will come out and protest. The people are too busy earning a living and paying taxes in this fake fiat monetary system. The people are ultimately controlled by the monetary system. See the videos by Bill Still. Make money hard to get by taking it out of the money supply and raising interest rates. This will cripple the economy and make many people desperate. There is another thing about activist groups that is hidden from public view. It's who funds them. Several people have done reports about who funds the big activist organizations with flowcharts showing big corporations and their foundations funding them, but nobody seems to care. It goes on and on. Give the 5 people at the top of any activist organization 6-figure incomes and you have bought their silence. When you get into this field, be ready for bureaucracy and hypocrisy. Activists should be desperate and urgent about helping people, but many of them are comfortable because they have figured out how to raise funds at glitzy events, then pay themselves a good salary out of the proceeds. I've seen some good non-profits. I saw a woman running a homeless shelter that she created on her own. I saw a doctor on Hastings Street in Vancouver, British Columbia, trying to help the addicts. I saw somebody show Greenpeace getting a bunch of money from big corporations. Getting an activist job can be as hard, cutthroat and competitive as getting a job anywhere else. Activist organizations attract good and naive people as well as wolves in sheep's clothing looking to get either money or easy pickings for romantic encounters. If somebody really wants to help people, they can easily go to some poor area and help poor kids. Activism is more a social fun thing for many people rather than an urgent desperate thing. Some people seem urgent, like Guy McPherson, among others, who thinks the human race will go extinct shortly. You go to vigilante.tv, a lot of those guys post videos almost every day. They're making money or doing this to release their creative energy. They seem like they're entertainers more than caring activists. Activism is at least partially about money. There are some big foundations around, like Open Society Foundations.org, handing out billions of dollars a year. It's competitive to get funding money. Evil people work in these fields. I remember an episode of the TV show American Greed exposing a cancer organization as a money pit for a certain family. Some people work for an activist organization for a while, then they say they felt used for free labor. I saw a documentary about the Hillsong Church, which brings in lots of money. Some of the volunteers said they felt used to help create the big events which brought in money, but they didn't get paid. Some people have a hate for society and the human race. They call them misanthropes. There is at least one rich guy who funds a lot of left-wing progressive movements. Some wealthy people fund activist groups that seem destructive and divisive. Their motive could be a straight hate of society, a way to make money by manipulating stock prices, bringing real estate prices down in an area, etc. Manipulating the political process to favor their candidates. Trying to cause chaos because they favor a different type of government. In the geopolitical espionage realm, countries promote activism in their enemy countries to cause destruction and a breakdown of society. In the United States, some people say that international communist groups and nations actively support protest movements that lead to embarrassment and a breakdown of capitalism because they want to bring in more socialist governments that offer free college, medical services, etc. The several superpower country governments are on ego trips. They want to see the other superpower countries fail to bring themselves up a notch. They help the oppositional activist groups in their enemy countries to try to make them look bad. Russia and China want to make the United States look like an excessive capitalist country made up of a few fat cats and a bunch of poor people. The United States, through the CIA, go into many countries to foment dissension and topple governments. Activism can be as low as propaganda. It's not necessarily truth. Many activists have a selfish agenda. Some activists are selfish, gluttonous, phony pigs. The ones I trust are the ones in the trenches helping people hands-on all the time. This book covers resource information for a lot of different social issues like AIDS, animal helpers/animal activist organizations, animal organizations info, animal science info, anti-shopping activists, Bobby Seale, 1960s Black Panther, British housing info, Canadian community living/coho-using, Canadian medical marijuana, capital punishment/death penalty, censorship info, chemtrails info, children's law websites, children's rights info, coho-using websites, commune websites, communes info, communes North America, co-op housing info, cyber activism, drug activism websites, earth activist/green activist, emancipation of a minor, endangered species info, experiments on animals, fair trade info, feminism, find a homeless shelter, food activist websites, food issues organizations, food safety websites, free speech/freedom of speech/censorship/First Amendment, gay rights, government transparency websites, guardianship by law/legal guardian, gun control rights, gun laws/firearms laws, gun resources, gun rights info, homeless info, homeless websites, hunger websites, immigration law websites, industry-funded organizations, international communes, international security, internet activists for a free internet, interracial/multicultural resources, Lists of animal organizations. Marijuana websites. Medical activism. Medical marijuana use laws by state. Medical marijuana websites. Microloan to help poor people start a business. Middle East issues. Military websites. Minority activism info. Nuclear activism. Nuclear energy websites. Paradise engineering / hedonistic imperative. Parental liability for child's actions. Population decrease / mass genocide. Population decrease, eugenics. Population issues. Poverty info. Prison websites. Pro-family activists. Pseudoscience / junk science. Recycling info. Science activist websites. Science for sale in health and safety research. Seafood warnings. Senior citizens activism. Sex activism for basic sex rights. Socioeconomic status websites. Student activism info / college activist info. Sweatshop info. Terrorism info. The public interest info. The United Nations info. Torture info. Tracking devices info. Transhumanism info. United Nations permanent missions. War websites / peace websites. Non-profit organizations can be almost anything like a professional sports league like the National Football League. Most colleges and universities, private and publicly funded. Hospitals. Relief organizations. Religious organizations. Political. Membership organizations like the American Bar Association and the National Rifle Association. Activist organizations. Books about non-profit corporations are at number 025.04, number 361.70, number 362.1-362.8, number 658.15, 658.8, HD 62.6, HF 5415, HG 4027, and HV 41.2 at the library. Legal books about non-profits are at number 346.430 or KF 1388 at the library.